Hello, guys, welcome back. I'm Joshua, and this is Rooftop. In today's workshop, we're going to be creating, again, like I said, this entire week is going to be Navratri based. So, we are going to be creating our Dandiya silhouette workshop. Now, this type of painting is relatively simple, where anyone can do, no matter what skill level you are at, whether beginner or an expert also. So in this painting, how we're gonna go about it is we have like a colorful background, and then we have two people dancing, but it's just a silhouette. So let's start and see how we can go about it. All right. So I have my reference image right here, and okay, okay, cool. So now we can start. Alright, so first what I will do is I will start by drawing the reference image that I have. You zoom in a bit. Let me just see. I think this much should be enough. Okay. Alright. So now we'll learn a little bit about figure drawing in this. So when we start to draw, what we need to start doing first is we need to place where we want the head to be, or the topmost part of the body. Say I want the head to be around here. So my paper is until here, this side. So I will keep this head here, and the feet, I want it to come this low. There you can see that will be the base, and that will be the top. Now what I'm going to do is from the head in the reference to the feet, I will try to roughly mark where the middle part would be. So if that is the head, in terms of this, the middle would be somewhere around here. Now what I can do is, now with the middle part, right? So if we look at our reference, we can see that the middle portion comes to the waist. So that means his waist or his legs would start from somewhere here, like that. And over here we can have the head. So I'll start with just a circle for the head. It'll be very rough. And then I can place the shoulders. So now the body, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it into two different sections. We have the head, we have the torso, and then we have the legs. So for the torso, it would be like this. So now if you look at this square or rectangle that I'm drawing, it's a bit bent, it's a bit curved, right? So the reason why I'm doing that is because the body over here it's bending like that, right? So then your stomach goes a little inside, your shoulder comes up, and then from here we will have the legs. So I'll just draw the feet first, like that. And then for the leg, I will just very roughly draw the leg like this. I'm not going to make any details just yet. Right now I just want to place, where the head is going to be, where the body is, and whether it fits in the frame that I want it to be in. The same thing over here, I will take. Now if we look at the wrist of the hand that is going up, we can see that it is just slightly higher than the head. So what I can do here is I can just draw the head here a little bit, right? So this is the neck. Over here. And then we have the top part of the head there. So the rest of the hand is just slightly above this and to the left, so somewhere there. Okay, so I'll draw like a long rectangle over here for the sleeve of the shirt, and I'll do it very roughly like that. I hope this is visible to everyone. Okay, now that I have that there, what I can do is the other leg. So it starts from, so if you take this leg over here, in the middle would be the knees, right? Somewhere around here. That means this one also will be somewhere along the same lines. So it might not come out that much, like this, and the same thing here also, like that. This area here, and then we can have the feet very roughly drawn there. And then the hand, if you look at the shoulder, it is slightly lower like this. And then this part will come as low as the thigh, like that. And then we have the wrist over there, and the same thing on the top side also. I will just draw a rectangle like this for the wrist. And then the Dandiya there. And now that I have this very rough drawing, I can now start to add the clothing to it. So say from here I will let this flow up like that. Then I'll give it a little curve and bring it down this way. And the same thing here, I will let this flow all the way there, bring this a little down like that. Okay, so this will come a little lower, maybe like this. And now the legs. Now remember, whenever you put any clothing, it is not, if you look at the shirt that I have here, it is not inside my skin, it is on my hand, right? Meaning it is above my hand. So the same way over here, we won't draw the pant on the leg. We will draw it slightly away from the leg, like this. Because it's a very loose pant. And same thing here, like that. Just like this. And the same thing on this side as well. This part is coming out a bit like that. And then we have the leg forming down there. And the pant also, if we see, pant comes straight out like this. Here I can just draw the pant sticking out. just like this. So you can see how we started off with the very basic shapes, and then we're starting to build the clothing over it. So the same thing here. Remember that the sleeve is on the hand, it's not in the hand, or it's above the hand. We can think of it like that. And then here, the shirt will fold a little bit. This will come up like this. And then we have here what I'm assuming is a turban of some sort. And then here also, like that, we have the head. And then this part of the sleeve, the bottom part, I will take this and then this cloth that is hanging here, I'll pull it outward a little bit like that. Perfect. And then the stick also, I will just draw the thumb first, and I'll do a bit of a zigzag line so that I have the fingers drawn like that. Now, you must be thinking, why am I not drawing the face or anything like that? Because this is a silhouette. That means we can only see the outline, and the inside part is entirely black. Okay, now we can come to the lady here. So if you look at the top of her head, it is somewhere around this height here. Somewhere around there. This will be the top of her head, and her chin would come right about here. So I'm using, if you see, I'm using this drawing as a guide for the drawing on the right. Her shoulder comes, oh, I forgot to draw this part of the hand. This one, I'll take it a little higher. And this hand, I will do a bit of zigzag there, and then place this up, and then this stick, I can take it like that. And then her wrist will fall in line with his knuckles. Wrist meaning this part. This is your wrist. This is your hand. This is your arm. Her shoulder will fall in this line. Once I'm done drawing the lines, I'm sure it's not really visible right now, but once I'm done very lightly drawing the lines, I'll just take it close to the camera so you can see. Okay. Okay, fine. Now what I will do is I will start I will start from this stick over here. Right, I will start from this stick, and then I will very roughly draw the placement of the hands. So like this. Oh right, I was supposed to show you. So if you look at, okay, let me try changing the angle a little bit. So you can see there are very light lines drawn over here like this, and over here also. So I've taken these as reference points. Okay. I'll take the stick till there. And now this, now her arm falls, let me see, this is the shoulder. How far away from the stick? About here. And then this will be the underarm area. So we have the forearm here, and then the arm like that. I'll take this will be the shoulder. I'll bring it down like that. Now this will slightly bend here, and then we have the arm ready there. Same thing here. And then I can draw the bottom part of this lehenga, just like that. One long stroke. We want to keep it as smooth and as fluid as possible. So I think I can take this a bit higher. This is where it stops curving, and then I'll take this a bit higher like that there. And I'll take my eraser. It's called kneadable eraser, kneaded eraser, very much needed eraser. So I will put this here. Oh, and I wasn't exaggerating on the very much needed part. Trust me, it's a lifesaver. And you can take whichever brand. It doesn't have to be, from a famous brand or anything. Just take whichever you find. They all work great. Okay, this part will come down here and end right there. Now, how do I know it will end right here? Because I can see in the reference that it ends right before this part. So if I imagine a line down like this, it will be slightly behind it. And that is where we'll draw the feet. Okay, and now here I will draw the face as well. So that's where the head is. Somewhere around that big. It should be similar in size with this. I'll take this up. So this hair would fall, wait, the chin is, okay, on below the shoulder. And this part would fall in the middle of the face. And then it will come down like that. So now we need to imagine a line just, going almost vertical here. Okay, something like that. So when we look at this and we look at where the other arm starts, now if you look at the drawing, there's no line in between, but we need to imagine, or we need to create that line so we can easily understand how or which way it's going to go. So like this. We have this arm right here, then we have the elbow. We have the elbow there. And then we have this arm coming there, joining to the body. Now before I finish this, I will just have a look at what I can do with this part here. So it will come something like this. And I will draw a line down. Now I'm using this part over here as a reference for the right side. So I'm checking which part comes in line with what. So if I look at this part here, if I draw an imaginary line horizontally, it will basically touch this fold over here. So I'm using that as a reference. This way, and then the arm will come right above the head somewhere here, maybe a little higher. Okay, I'll take it a little lower. It's not too long also. Right there. And then the arm will come up like this. And here we have the other stick. Just like that. Now I can draw the face. I'll draw the forehead. Now for those of you who haven't seen my portraiture workshop, you can have a look at that. There I break down, how to divide the face and how we can draw it and all. So right now I won't be going that in depth, but you can always cross refer to the charcoal portrait workshop. For those of you who want to draw portraits of, maybe your family members or your friends, that video will be of great help. You have a hair going there. And then we have this hair coming here. And then from this side, so I'll draw the feet. If I draw the feet, I'll just draw this cloth here. And then I will connect this there. Then I can easily draw this part, which is, I think, the dupatta. Like that. And this part starts from the base of the arm until here and around this far out. So you see, I'm having like check marks here. yeah, this will come all the way down here. This will only come out this much, and this is where it is going to start from. So I know it is slightly thin from the top, so I'll drag this. Just like that. Now I can just draw the feet here. The feet also will keep it very simple. Like that. And one more feet, or one more foot, sorry, not one more feet. It's okay, it's an art class, it's not an English class. I can make mistakes. Just like that. Oh, lovely. Okay. Now whatever extra, lines are there, like the ones I do in the middle, which, let me see if it's visible. Over here you can see them slightly visible. There you can see there, here you can see a little bit. So I will remove those, excuse me, lines. The lines that are in the drawing, it's okay. But the ones that are, outside of the drawing, we'll try to remove as much of that as we can. And then I can very lightly go over the drawing again, whichever part I may have erased that I will need. So we have a drawing ready over here. This part I can maybe just give it, I won't make the line too straight. Okay. Now in the background, what I will be doing is I will be creating a gradient. So what I'll have like a little bit of reddish orange over here, and the closer I go to the center, I will make it yellow. Okay, so I will take so I already have yellow ready. So what I can do is I can start with that in the center. But before I do that, now if you look at this is very dark, the drawing. It is a little too dark. But that looks pretty good on camera. It's a little too dark. So if you have a kneaded eraser, this is what you can do. If you have a kneaded eraser, what you can do is you can just roll it out a bit and just start pulling it down. And even if you have a normal eraser, very lightly, you can just start clearing up any dark spots that your drawing has. Because we're going to be painting over it, we're not gonna just do an outline. So what this will do, right, is it will remove whatever soft graphite that is there lying on top of the paper. So I'm sure, in school we had chalkboards, and even some of you studying now have chalkboards. So when you use a chalk and you write it on the board, the writing is there, but the second you blow air on it, that extra dust comes out. So that's what we're trying to remove. We're trying to remove that extra dust that is laying on top, or the extra graphite that we do not currently need. Now it looks pretty light, but let's get closer and show you what I can see. So the drawing is still there, but I've just lightened it up a bit. I have to tilt it down because of the lighting. If I keep it straight up, you can't really see. But if I keep it this way, yeah, there you go, much better. So I still have the drawing. Now I can take my yellow color paint. So I have a pretty wide brush here. You can take the biggest brush you find, and if your brush is a little too big, then you can keep it to this 1-inch brush that I'm using here. So I have some yellow color already from the previous workshop. I'll take some water and I will just start mixing this paint. Like this. I want it a little bit watered down, not too much. So over here, I'll just start making like a very circular shape, like this. Now, remember that my drawing is still very much visible through the paint. So I will do this. And then I will take some red. I have some red here. Just take a little bit of red. Not too much, not too little. This is how much I took, but I'll remove a little bit from it because red is pretty strong. And I will mix it in this paint. And again, take some water. Now the same color, I will take it outward like this. Now you must be thinking, oh, this is very, very linear, or it's not very blended that well. So then I can just take a little bit of water and I can just start moving this around. Same thing for the outer part as well. So it's going to have a very radial gradients. So when I say radial gradients, radial meaning starting from the center and going outwards, and gradients is going from light to dark or from one color to the other, like that. Now I can take a lot more red. Oh, that's a little too much. I will mix it in here. I can take this also. Now I'm not using pure red, I'm just mixing whatever orange I had. Same thing here at the bottom. I'll just take this and spread it out. And then I will take a little bit of water in my brush and blend this inward. Just like that. Now, for those of you who just joined, you must be very confused as to what I am, making. But let me see if I can show it on camera. There is a little drawing hidden behind this. There you go. You can see the drawing now. So now we will wait for this to dry. So the reference that is there on the, let me see, for you it is on the top left. So the reference that is on the top left, we have already drawn that inside of this painting. Now on top of this, so I'll tell you what we've done. We started off with the drawing. I had briefly explained on how we can start with the drawing, and then once we got done with the drawing, we took an eraser, lightened up the drawing by just very gently erasing over it. Once we got done with that, we then took our paint, which is right now yellow, and then orange, and then red. We've taken that and we've painted over it. So now once this dries, so if you look at this shine that is on the paper, right, that is all wet paint. So now once this paint dries, we will start with the drawing. There you can see the drawing there. So we will start with the drawing as well. So those of you who just joined now, are you going to start working, or are you going to start painting this with me as well? Or are you just looking to, have a look at it now and then maybe paint later when you're free? Maybe some of you have been watching this from work or maybe at home also. You can let me know in the comments, and it'll be a fun interactive session. So I'll just keep having a look this way to see if this paint is dry. So I think certain areas have a lot more water in them. So I'll just remove all of this excess water, and let me see, maybe the paint also, the paint also might come out. So I think we can just, let's have to see which part is it exactly. If it is towards the lighter side or towards the part that is being blended, it is okay. We can remove a little bit of that paint. Here also a little bit. So I'm looking for reflections. Oh, that became a little dark. We don't need that. Let me see if this will go. So when that happens, right, just keep painting it in the circle and spread it outwards. This looks like the opening of Tom and Jerry, where the line comes up. This looks like that background. No, actually not Tom and Jerry. This is what's it called? Looney Tunes? Yeah, I think Looney Tunes. It looks like that. And then it'll just pop out and say, "That's all, folks." I think that's how I should close today's live session, with a classic "That's all, folks." Okay, so I'll have a look. Okay, now I can take my black color. But now see, now once I start adding the black color, we'll just see how contrasted it will look. So I will take this here. That's my brush. And then I will take this black color paint also that I have. So in black color paint, I will put a little bit there. Right here. Okay. So I'll take a bit of water and I will just mix it in this black paint. Not too much, not too little also. Just mix it in this. Since I'm not mixing any other color in it, so I don't really have to do it in this area here. So once you mix it, we'll remove whatever paint is in a brush and mix it again. Remove the paint that is in the brush and mix it again. So what that does is basically, even though you mix your paint, sometimes water will be trapped between the bristles of your brush. So when you remove the paint like this, sometimes you can remove the water and then mix it into the paint. That way you have a proper consistency of paint. Now let me see. Yeah, there you go. Now I'll just do an outline like this. Now I know you can't see the drawing right now, but you can just go back a bit and refer to the drawing that we were doing all this while. So I'm starting off with the leg. It's pretty satisfying. Oh, that's starting to look really good. Let's see how it turns out. Now I think whoever joins after the statement I make is going to think I'm free-handing this. Maybe even some of y'all must have thought that for a second, that I am free-handing this painting. I wish I did, but I think I would need to practice a little more before I do so. Like that. I think I made this a little too thin. Just thicken it out a bit. Like so much better. Now I can add this area here. Let's start with the outline first, like that. Okay. And this part can come out over here. Like that. I think the finishing look is going to be pretty insane. It's already turning out so great. Now, of course, don't misunderstand. This is not how the arm is. I'm just filling out the larger areas first. Pretty good. Over there. I go like that. Over here also I can add a little bit. Yeah, that looks great. And then something to hang at the back. Now, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to ask. It doesn't have to be related to, this painting or this specific workshop. Maybe there is something you want to know about your own paintings, or something about, a style of art you're trying to explore, or maybe have some confusion with, mixing colors or paints. I think I made this a little too flat, like a little too thin. I'll just extend this nose a little bit. I think that looks a little better. Now I can do this arm also. So I know, I'm sorry that I'm rotating this, but when you paint, you gotta look at it and do it from all angles possible. Just like that. So there you go, that's the first person done. Now we can move on to the next one. For this also I will just start from the stick. Just like that. We have one arm done. This I can smoothen it out a bit. It doesn't need to be so pointy also. Yeah, that looks much better. Is this? Oh, that's the hair. Okay. So we have the neck. Sorry if I go out of frame sometimes, like with the paper that I'm drawing on. That should work. And here I can have the hair. I'm just purposely adding some bumps to, show the thickness of the hair. This. Same thing here and here as well. This part and this part just goes out like that. can draw the feet here. Just like that. And this part also. Yeah. I'll put this down here. And then I can do the top of or the forearm. And then I can draw the fingers here a little bit. So I'll just make this flat, then I'll give it some bumps over there like that. There you go. And that summarizes our Dandiya silhouette painting. All right. So let me just show it to you one last time. This. There you go. Hold on, I think this one. Yeah, this looks good. So this is our final work that we have done. We started off with the draw. Let me keep it there. Yeah. So we started off with the drawing, and once we got done with the drawing, we then did the background, which is the yellow and orange color. And after that, we then started to paint inside the drawing. Now, since we added only one layer of acrylic, the drawing was visible like over the colors, so it was a lot easier to work with it. So if you enjoyed this workshop, I hope to see you again on Monday. On Sundays we don't have workshops, but we are trying to push for that. So if you've enjoyed this workshop and you would like to see more, or maybe even if you have missed out on some of our workshops, you can go to our page on YouTube and you can go to the live section and see all the workshops that I have been doing so far. And maybe you might have not heard one of the workshops we've done, but it might interest you, so you can have a look at it. And if you would like to know some more information about what we do at Rooftop, you can have a look at our website, and you can maybe download our app as well, and you can see what all we have to offer, what all courses we do, what all workshops we have. So if you've enjoyed this workshop and hopefully learned something informative and valuable, then you can drop a comment, or you can subscribe, or maybe just give it a thumbs up. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.